A 150-pound Great Dane that 15 families called too dangerous sat in a shelter for 274 days. The night a young couple finally brought him home, the husband barely slept. He was certain a dog that size did not belong in a house with an 18-month-old. 4 months later, at 3 in the morning, that same dog would do the one thing that saved their daughter's life. Rachel and Mark Sullivan had everything they thought they wanted: a small house in Frisco, Texas, good jobs, and an 18-month-old daughter, Maya, who had just learned to run and had no fear. Rachel had grown up with big dogs and missed having one. Mark wanted to wait until Maya was older. That was the one thing they could never quite agree on. Maya weighed 24 pounds and stood barely 32 inches tall. The thought of a 150-pound dog in the house terrified Mark, and he said so weekly for all 6 months Rachel kept asking. So when Rachel stopped by the Lone Star Animal Rescue one Saturday, she told herself she was only dropping off a bag of donated blankets. She was not going to look at the dogs. She looked at the dogs. She walked the whole row, past the barking terriers and sleepy hounds, to the last kennel, Kennel 12, and there she stopped. Inside was the biggest dog she had ever seen, 150 pounds of solid black Great Dane, lying with his chin flat on the concrete, watching the world go by with eyes that had stopped hoping. The card said his name was Moose. A volunteer named Dana walked over. "That's Moose," she said, "gentlest dog in this whole building, but people see 150 pounds and they walk right back out." "How long has he been here?" Rachel asked. Dana's face fell a little. 274 days. We've had 19 families come and go. His old owners surrendered him when their landlord found out his weight. Before that, a neighbor called the police on him twice, just for barking. Not one bite on his record, not one. People are just scared of a dog this big. He's 4 years old. He was adopted once, lasted 9 days, came right back, because the family said he was, quote, too much dog. No bites, no aggression, nothing in 4 years. He's just big, and big scares people. Rachel knelt down. Moose lifted his head, studied her a moment, and did something that made Dana gasp. He stood up, crossed the kennel, and gently rested his head against the bars, right next to Rachel's face. "He hasn't done that for anyone in months," Dana whispered. Rachel called Mark from the parking lot. The conversation was short. "Absolutely not," Mark said. "A 150-pound dog and a baby? Rachel, that is a terrible idea." But Rachel had already made up her mind. She signed the papers that afternoon. Mark was not happy. He stood in the driveway, arms crossed, when Rachel pulled up with 150 pounds of Great Dane filling the back seat. "If that dog so much as breathes wrong around Maya," he started. But Moose stepped out of the car, walked straight to Mark, sat at his feet, and leaned his full weight against Mark's legs, like they'd been best friends for 5 years. Mark sighed. The dog had already won, and he knew it. For the first 3 days, Mark watched every interaction like a referee, measuring the 2 feet between Moose and Maya. But on day 4, he came home at 6 p.m. to find his 150-pound guard dog flat on his rug, an 18-month-old using his belly as a pillow, both sound asleep. The first week was chaos. Moose did not understand his own size. He knocked a lamp off the side table with one wag. He tried to sit in Rachel's lap and nearly flatten her, which was equal parts funny and alarming. He drooled a puddle the size of a dinner plate every time someone opened the fridge, which was disgusting and somehow the funniest thing in the house. They bought him a $230 orthopedic bed the size of a twin mattress, and he ignored it entirely in favor of the couch, where he slept on his back with all 4 legs in the air, snoring loud enough to rattle the windows. He weighed 150 pounds but had the coordination of a newborn giraffe. In his first 2 weeks, he broke 2 lamps, 1 vase, and a kitchen chair that gave up under him. He ate nearly 14 pounds of food a week, $40 more on the grocery bill. He stood 34 inches at the shoulder and on his back legs nearly 6 feet tall, taller than Mark. But here's the part nobody expected. From the very first day, Moose decided that the most important thing in his world was an 18-month-old girl named Maya. Wherever Maya toddled, Moose followed, 2 steps behind, like a 150-pound shadow. When she sat on the floor, he lay down and curled his giant body around her like a wall. And every evening, the cutest thing Rachel had ever seen happened on its own. Maya would grab her little purple hairbrush, climb up next to Moose, and brush the top of his enormous head while he held perfectly still and let her, his eyes half closed in pure contentment. Maya's first word was not mama or dada, it was moose, or her version of it, moo, which she shouted every morning the second she saw all 150 pounds of him. I can see you've made it this far and still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that one stings a little. Hit subscribe, you do not want to miss what Moose does next. Everyone had an opinion. Mark's mother said a dog that big could crush her by accident. Their neighbor half joked she'd call the police if Moose ever got loose. Rachel read the same articles every worried parent reads: big dogs and toddlers, the statistics, the warnings. But Rachel watched this dog every day and saw what the articles couldn't. Moose was not a danger to Maya. He had made himself her guardian. He refused to leave her side. When she napped, he lay across her doorway. When she ate, he sat under her high chair, catching every dropped cracker. At night, he slept beside her crib, and if anyone moved him to another room, he walked right back. Nobody trained him to do any of it. Moose just decided the day he met her that this tiny human was his to protect. Rachel filmed one of their brushing sessions and posted it. The video has 5.4 million views today and crossed 1 million in its first 5 days. The comments are full of people who couldn't believe a dog that size could be this gentle with a child. But what none of them realized was that Moose's gentleness was only half the story. The other half was about to awaken an entire house. Stories like this are the whole reason we keep doing what we do. And if this one is making you feel something right now, you are exactly who we make these for. It started with a cold. Maya had been a little congested for 2 days. Nothing serious, the kind of thing every toddler gets 12 times a year. Rachel gave her fluids and put her to bed at 7:30. Moose curled up beside the crib as always. Nobody thought anything of it. At 3 in the morning, the house was dead silent, and then it wasn't. Moose started barking. Not his normal bark. This was loud, frantic, relentless, a sound Rachel had never heard him make. Then came the thud of 150 pounds of dog throwing himself against the bedroom door, over and over. Some stories deserve to be passed on. And what happened in the next 4 minutes is the reason this one travels. Mark was up first, half asleep and annoyed, ready to put the dog out. But the moment he opened the door, Moose grabbed his sleeve in his teeth and pulled, dragging him down the hall toward Maya's room. Rachel was right behind them, and when they reached the crib, both of their hearts stopped. Maya was awake, sitting up, her little chest heaving, her lips turning a pale shade of blue. She was trying to breathe, and almost nothing came through. The cold had become something far worse overnight. Her airway was closing. Rachel scooped her up. Mark grabbed the keys. They were in the car in under 60 seconds, Moose pacing and whining at the front window as they sped off into the dark. The hospital was 9 minutes away. Mark made it in 6, running 2 red lights on empty 3 a.m. streets. At the emergency room, the doctors moved fast. It was severe croup, the kind that can swell a small airway nearly shut in hours. They gave her oxygen and medication, and slowly, finally, her color came back. Her oxygen had crashed to 84%. Her heart was racing at 160 beats a minute, and her fever had spiked to 103 degrees. The croup had swollen her airway to a fraction of its width. A nurse had an oxygen mask on her within 90 seconds, and a team of 4 worked on her for the next 2 hours. One of the doctors pulled Rachel aside afterward. He asked how they'd known to bring her in so fast. Rachel told him about the dog. The doctor went quiet, then said something she would never forget. A child this age can't always cry out when they can't breathe. If she had stayed in that crib another 20 or 30 minutes, this would have ended very differently. That dog didn't just wake you up, he saved her. By 6 a.m., she was breathing easy again, her oxygen back above 95%. The same dog 19 families called too dangerous, the same 150 pounds everyone said was a threat. That night, the dog the whole world walked past was the only reason a little girl took her next breath. When they got home 2 days later, Mark did something Rachel never expected. He walked to the garage, pulled out Moose's ignored $230 bed, and set it right inside the door of Maya's room. "He sleeps here now," Mark said quietly, kneeling to scratch the giant dog behind the ears, "wherever he wants. This is his house, Q." Today, Maya is 3, healthy and loud and fearless. Moose is 6. He still steals the couch, he still drools on everything, and every single night, without fail, he lies in the doorway of Maya's room and keeps watch until morning, exactly where a skeptical father once swore he'd never allow a dog that size. When a dog refuses to leave someone's side, when he barks at nothing in the dead of night, do not assume he is being difficult. There is almost always a reason. Trust them. Most animals can sense things long before we ever can. They feel the world in ways we lost a long time ago, and given the chance, they will spend their whole lives keeping us safe. And if you're ever thinking about bringing home one of the big ones, the dogs the world calls too dangerous, do your research first. Learn what they need, prepare your home and your heart. Because sometimes the dog everyone is afraid of is the one who will save the life that matters most to you. 19 families looked at a 150-pound Great Dane and saw something to fear. One woman looked at him and saw a heart. Would you trust a 150-pound dog around your toddler? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments.